So up next is a core-inspired flow for all levels. I think you're gonna like it. It's about 30 minutes long. So have a great time, and I'll see you on the other side. Namaste. All right, come to stand at the front of your mat. Close your eyes. On your next breath in, reach your shoulders up towards your ears, making your neck really short. Then send your shoulder blades behind you and let your shoulder blades just glide alongside each other to rest down so your palms gently face to the front of the room. Make sure that your feet are about hip width distance apart, your heels hidden behind your toes. Drop your tailbone. And then just take a moment to feel your body centered right here. So sway a little bit left and right, placing the weight of your body into one foot and the other. Then make that motion smaller and smaller till you're right in the center, and then sway a little bit front to back, sharing the weight between the balls of your feet and your heels. Feel that wave come all the way up. Then split the difference between that. Come to center. Then press down through all four corners of both of your feet. So underneath your big toe mound, your little toe mound, the inside and outside of both of your heels. So that's like if there was a piece of glass underneath you, you'd see those parts of your feet pressing and spreading out just a little bit more so that the arches of your feet can draw up. Lift up your kneecaps just slightly to activate your quadriceps. Tailbone reaches down. Breathe. Lift your chest up, but then knit your floating ribs in, pulling the front tips of your hips just up a little bit. Feel the sides of your body become long, sides of your neck, the front and back of your spine. And every breath in, feel your breath pull all the way down towards your hips, all the way down towards your feet. And on your exhale, pull in your pelvic core and feel the breath rise up alongside your spine. Then take your palms into your heart center, thumbs in towards your sternum to set an intention for your practice today or a dedication. Bow your head to your hands. Honor your intention, your personal practice. Take a full breath all the way in. Open mouth, exhale. Lift your head back up, and then blink your eyes open. On your next breath in, allow your fingertips to drift all the way up towards the sky, palms touch, gaze up towards your hands. And on your exhale, slight bend in your knees, hinge at your hips, roll all the way down to come to a forward fold. Release all the way. Take a little bend in your knees so you can rest your belly on top of your thighs and just relax all the way down. Relax the base of your neck. Shake your head yes and no. Totally relax. Take your hands, your elbows in your hands, and swing a little bit left and right. Then drop your fingertips back down to the mat. Bend your knees as much as you need so your fingertips can touch the mat. And then wander your hands over to the left side, pulling with your fingertips of your right hand so you've got a full stretch on the right side of your body, full breath all the way in. Exhale, wander your fingers back to front, and then wander over to the right side, keeping that bend in your knees to protect your knee joints. Breath in, pull back with your left fingertips. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, halfway lift, press your fingertips into your shins or into the mat. Exhale, fold, release down. Twice more, just like that. Inhale, half lift, keep your low belly and shoulder blades on your back. Awesome. Exhale, release all the way down. Last time. Inhale, reach to the front of the room, find resistance, low belly in. Exhale, fold. On your next breath in, slight bend in your knees, root to rise, reach your arms out and up. Come up to upper prayer pose, palms together, release your shoulders. Exhale, take your hands towards your heart, reset. Next breath, reach out and up, gaze up towards your fingertips. And this time, send your gaze just right in front of you. Release your shoulders behind you, but keep your palms together. Take your left hand to grasp your right wrist. Draw your tailbone down. Inhale to grow long, and on your next exhale, bump your hips over to the right and start to tilt your torso over to the left. Getting a stretch on the left side of your body. You can use your left hand to draw your right arm over even more. Keep your low belly in, so you've got a straight line from your heels to your hips, and then draw your left shoulder underneath you just slightly. So you're opening up, and you might even send your gaze up towards the sky if it's comfortable on your neck. Next breath in, come back up to center and then change the clasp. So take your right hand to grab your left wrist. Inhale, wave long to get tall, release your shoulders, tip your hips over to the left and start to tilt your torso and your arms over toward the right. Draw your tailbone in, so you've got this long straight line of energy. Draw your right shoulder underneath you. And drop your shoulders, yeah, just like that. Use your right hand to pull over a little bit more. Next breath, come back to center. Exhale, release your hands back down towards your heart. Breath in, let your hands drift up towards the sky. Upward prayer, gaze up towards your fingertips. Exhale, swan dive or through your heart center. Release all the way down, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, make space. Exhale, bend your knees. Then place your hands into the mat and step back to your first down dog of the class. Spread your fingertips wide, press down and out with your finger pads. Press down especially through your forefinger mound and your thumb. Bend your knees just a little bit. Take a few breaths to settle into your downward facing dog. Hide your heels behind your toes. Hips rising high. Release your shoulder blades up your back, away from your ears. On your next breath in, lift your heels up and roll to the top of your plank pose. Extend your head at the very end. Adjust your feet just to make sure that you've got your wrists below your shoulders. Awesome, just like that. On your next exhale, chin to chest, puff up your upper back, then your mid back, then your hips, and come back to your downward facing dog. Yeah, so use your hips as that center point. Do that twice more. Inhale, your heels come high, roll forward, wave your spine long. Awesome. On your exhale, chin to chest, puff up. Feel that expansion through your back as you settle back to down dog. One last time, your breath. Breath in reaches you forward. Nice, and on your exhale, sends you back. On your next breath in, lift your right leg up towards the sky. Flex your toes towards your face. Lift up with your heel just a little bit more. On your next exhale, take your knee to your right elbow. Shift forward like in plank pose. Inhale, lift up again. Exhale, take your knee to your nose underneath your body. Keep lifting up your hips high. Press down through your hands. Yes, inhale, rise up. Exhale, knee under your body, curve to tap your other elbow. Inhale, rise up. And then just set your foot down next to the other one, downward facing dog. Next breath in, left leg reaches up towards the sky. Again, flex your toes towards your face. Drop your left hip a little bit. Lift up through the inside of your thigh. Lift your heel a little bit more. On your next exhale, knee to left elbow, shift forward. Inhale, extend out through your heel. Exhale, knee to nose, arch your back, pull everything into your midline. Yeah, inhale up. Exhale, knee towards your right elbow. Keep pressing down through your hands. Inhale, come all the way up again. And exhale, release your foot down to the mat. Breath in to prepare. On your exhale, bend your knees, look to the front of the mat, and then make your way to the top of your mat to a forward fold. Inhale, half lift, create space. Exhale, fold, release all the way down. Next breath in, reverse swan dive. Press down through your feet, little bend in your knees, hinge at your hips to rise all the way up. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart center. Come up as high as you can onto your toes, so you're just on the balls of your feet, and then start to lower your hips down, bending your knees, keeping your knees directly in front of you. See if you can keep your shoulders directly over your hips, as slow as you can, slowest elevator. And then rock down onto your bum and rock onto your back. Beautiful control. Draw your knees into your chest. Rock a little bit left and right. Then come back to center. Just find a little bit of stillness. Bring your arms alongside your body, palms down. Release your shoulder blades down the back. So maybe shimmy a little bit just to get them under there. Then bend your knees so you can have your knees directly over your hips. Your feet are out in front of you. Bend your knees up. There you go. Lift up your shins so they're parallel with the earth. Press your low back into the mat so that you can feel all of your back pressing against the mat. Take 3 breaths here. Feeling the connection, press through the balls of your feet. So you can either point your feet or flex your feet, but whatever you do, just make sure that you keep them active. And then just using your low belly, lift up your lower hips away from the mat, reaching your kneecaps up towards the sky. So you've got this tiny little pulse happening. You might only move about half an inch. Then take your hands behind your behind your head. Wrap your elbows up towards the sky, your fingers interlaced behind your skull, keeping your low hips up. Start to reach your shoulder blades off your mat as well. Breathe. Release your shoulder blades down, release your hips down, take your knees down to the mat. Windshield wipe your knees left and right. Let your belly go soft once again. Then take your hands back alongside your body again, palms down. This time, extend your legs up above you so that your heels are above your hips. If your legs don't come straight, that's fine. Bend them as much as you need. Breath in here. On your next exhale, extend your heels out in front of you, starting to lower them down to the mat. Hover above the mat about 4 inches. Breath in, hold. On your next exhale, bring your knees in towards your chest. Send your heels up towards the sky. On a breath in, exhale, extend outward in front of you. Hover above the mat, keep your low belly into the mat. Hold for a breath in. Exhale, pull into your chest. One more time. Inhale, kick your heels up toward the sky. You can do this. Exhale, extend your heels out. Press your low back into the mat. Breath in, hold. Exhale, pull your knees into your chest. Take your arms around your shins. Relax. Rock a little left and right. Then take your hands to the backs of your thighs. Start to rock up and down the length of your spine. Take a couple rocks so you get enough momentum. You're going to make your way to a forward fold at the top of your mat. Bend one knee, bend the other. And then on your next inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, create space. Exhale, release all the way down. Next breath in, press down through your feet, root to rise, reverse swan dive, your arms come out and up. Gaze up towards your fingers. Exhale, hands towards your heart center. Once more, inhale, reach out and up, gaze up, release your shoulders behind you. Exhale, swan dive or hands to your heart center, hinge at your hips, little bend in your knees, release all the way down. Heart first, head releases last. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, plant your hands into the mat and step back to a plank pose. So make sure your wrists are directly below your shoulders, which are directly below your hips. Walk back your feet about 1/2 inch, just like that. Low belly in and up. Press out through the backs of your heels. Wrap the inner crease of your elbow to the front of the room. Breathe. On your next breath in, shift forward on your toes, reaching your heart to the front of the room. On your exhale, chaturanga, keep your elbows in as close to your body, lower all the way down. Keep your low belly in. Release down. Very nice. Untuck your toes. Loop your shoulders up away from you. Inhale up. Keep your gaze long. Low cobra. Exhale. Release all the way down. And then press up through hands and knees or half plank or full plank. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Take the vinyasa of your choice. Next breath in. Reach your right leg up towards the sky. Exhale. Draw your knee in towards your chest and then place your foot in between your hands towards your right thumb. Beautiful. Hop in your left foot several inches and then place it down at a 45-degree angle towards the left corner. Awesome. Pull your right hip back, your left hip forward, hover your fingertips off the mat, and then rise all the way up to come to your first warrior one. Your arms alongside your head facing the front of the room. Square your hips to the front of the room. Deep bend in your right knee. Keep pressing out to the outer edge of your left foot so much that the arch of your foot rises up. Drop your tailbone down. Release your shoulder blades away from you. Then take your hands to your low back, interlace your fingertips, press the heels of your hands together. On your next breath in, release your knuckles down, gaze up. And on your exhale, use all that space you created and bow forward, your right shoulder to come on top of your right thigh or maybe to the inside. So still keep your hips squared. Pull your right hip back, your left hip forward, scissor your thighs together for balance. And then as you're ready, begin to press back up to warrior one. Release your arms up towards the sky. Breath in, prepare. On your next exhale, open up to the left to warrior two. Your arms come down at shoulder height. You might need to glance your left foot out just a little bit. Deep bend into your right knee. Keep working your right knee over to the right side, more than you even think is necessary. Yeah, so your foot stays the same, your knee bends out. Beautiful. Lift up your right heel. Drop your thigh down 1/2 inch. Then set your heel back down. Beautiful. Breathe. Flip your right palm, take your left to your thigh, your low back, reverse your warrior, begin to arc back. Side bend with the heart slightly open, keep a little bend in your left knee so you don't lock out. Then return back to your warrior two. Straighten your right leg. And then turn your toes inward so you're facing the side of your mat. Your toes are slightly in, your heels are slightly out. Take your hands to your hips. Inhale, lift your heart up, create space, and on your exhale, hinge forward at your hips, release all the way down. Take a little bend in your knees if you need, then release your hands down toward the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold once again. Keep a little bend in your knees and place the weight more into the balls of your feet than the heels. With every exhale, see if you can descend down a little bit closer, your head just dripping down toward the mat. Breath in, halfway lift, press through your fingertips, make your spine long. And exhale, fold again. Turn your left toes over to the left and start to wander your hands over to the left side. So now you're in a low lunge toward the back of your mat. Step your left foot back to meet your right, plank pose, and flow through vinyasa. If it suits you right now, take cobra or up dog, or skip it entirely. Beautiful chaturanga. A full breath all the way in. Exhale, side out. Release the heat. Reacquaint your hands with your mat. Spread your fingertips wide. Press down, especially through your four-finger mound. Breathe. Next breath in, lift your left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, draw your knee in towards your chest and then place your foot in between your hands towards your left thumb. Step your right foot in several inches. Spin it down at a 45-degree angle. Left hip back, right hip forward, hover your fingertips off the mat, and then rise up to your warrior one, settle on top of it. Release your arms up towards the sky, shoulder blades, fall down. Awesome. Keep squaring your hips to the front of the room while pressing through the outer edge of your right foot. Breathe. Keep your breath long, just like at the beginning of class. Use your intention. Then release your hands to your low back. Interlace your fingertips the opposite way. It might feel kind of funny. Press the heels of your hands together. Let your knuckles drop down to the mat. Inhale, gaze upward. Exhale, start to tilt forward. Keep pulling your left hip back, your right hip forward. Keep finding the energy through your right leg. And if you'd like even more of a shoulder stretch, you can start to reach your shoulders up above you. It's your choice. Release the base of your neck so your head can drift down. Yes. Then take your hands back down to your low back, rise back up to your warrior one. Square to the front of the room, breath in, prepare. On your next exhale, open up warrior two towards the right. This time your arms come down, shoulder height. Step your right foot back just a little bit to adjust your stance so that your left knee is not going beyond your left ankle, and then start to move your left knee over to the left side of the room even more. Yes, just like that. Lift your left heel off the mat. Sink down your thigh and your hips, yes, and then set it right back down again. Drop your tailbone, release your shoulder blades back behind you, and then imagine that you're going to squeeze your heels together so tightly that your mat crinkles. Flip your left palm, take your right to your thigh or your low back, reverse warrior, exalted warrior. Keep moving your knee over to the left so you can feel your hips open up, yes, just like that. Breathe. Breath in, return back to your warrior two. Straighten your left leg. Turn your toes in so both toes are pointed in just a little bit. Heels out, hands to your hips. Inhale, rise up. On your exhale, begin to release down, tilt all the way. And then release your hands down toward the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold once again. Take your right hand and start to reach for your left ankle. You might need to shorten your stance. If you don't, that's fine. And then draw your chest closer towards your left thigh. Full breath in, full breath out. Draw yourself a little bit closer. Release your hand, walk back to center. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, release. Then walk your left hand to reach towards your right ankle. Every exhale draws you a little bit closer. Bend your knees as much as you need. On your next exhale, release, come back to center. Breath in, half lift, make space. Exhale, fold. Turn your toes back to the front and wander your body over so you're in a low lunge facing the front of the room. Step your foot back to a plank pose. And take a vinyasa if you'd like, or just flow back to downward facing dog. And your next breath in, lead your right heel up towards the sky. Exhale, take your knee towards your right elbow. Shift forward. Inhale, rise up, find length again. Exhale, knee towards your right elbow again, and then place your foot to the outside of your right hand, coming into lizard pose. Yes, so your toes are either going to face straight ahead or slightly angled out to the right. Your left leg can be down or it can be lifted. It's totally up to you. On your next breath in, reach your heart to the front of the room to create space, and on your exhale, start to lower down towards your forearms. If it's not comfortable for you, use a block to support you and bring the earth just a little bit closer. Release the base of your neck so your head can fall, but still have the intention of your heart reaching toward the front of the room. And if you want to superpower this pose, start to draw your right knee in towards your midline. Okay, put your forearms on the block. Find a muscle that you don't need to be tightened and softened. As you're ready, start to press up through your hands to lift back up. Tuck your left toes to lift your left knee up off the mat. On your next breath in, bend both knees and use that momentum to step your left foot forward on an exhale. Your left foot is on the outside of your left hand. Your toes are out, your heels are in a little wider than your hips, and start to lower your hips down, coming into malasana. Take the backs of your arms to the insides of your thighs, palms pressed together. Every breath in, your hips fall down. Every exhale, grow through the crown of your head. Three slow breaths. Make your next exhale slower than the breath in. Then release your hands down to the mat and slowly lift your hips up. Heel toe your feet back so that they are hips width distance. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, chest to thighs. Next breath in, reverse swan dive. Reach out and up, gaze up towards your fingertips. Exhale, draw your hands back down towards your heart. Next breath in, reach out and up once more, create length. Exhale, swan dive or hinge forward. Hands to heart center, lead with your heart. Your head falls last. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, plant your hands into the mat, and either step back to plank, float to chaturanga, or take yourself just straight back to downward facing dog, optional vinyasa. Keep your elbows in close to your body. Yes. Take your time, there's no rush. On your next breath in, lead your left leg up towards the sky, lead with your heel. Exhale, take your knee to your left elbow, shift forward like in plank. Inhale, rise up again. Exhale, take your knee towards your left elbow again, but this time step your foot to the outside of your left hand. Perfect, just like that. Again, your right leg can be up or down, and it could be different than your first option. That's fine. Inhale, reach your heart towards the front of the room. And on your exhale, wave down, coming down towards your forearms. Use a block or not. And one side of your body is going to be a little different than the other, so it's okay if you use a block on one side and on the other. Do what feels best. Release the base of your neck so your head can drift down, but keep your heart reaching towards the front. And then for a little more activation, start to pull your left knee in towards your midline. Don't forget to breathe. Begin to press into your palms if this side feels about equal as the other. If it doesn't, stay just another breath or so longer. Tuck your right toes behind you to lift up your right knee. On your next breath in, bend both knees. On your exhale, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Also, make sure your toes are out, your heels are in. Your heels are a little bit wider than your hips, and start to lower your hips down in between your feet. Backs of arms to the insides of your legs, palms together. Start to reach your heart up and your hips down, and even imagine that you're working not just your arms to the insides of your legs, but also the outsides of your legs to open up wider as well. Three of your slowest breaths. When you finish, release your hands down to the mat. Slowly lift your hips up. In your forward fold, heel toe your feet back. Hips width distance. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release chest towards your thighs. On your next breath in, reverse swan dive, root to rise. Palms together, gaze up. And on your exhale, take your hands to your heart center. Drop your shoulders, drop your tailbone. Next breath, reach out and up again. Gaze up towards your fingers. Exhale, swan dive or through your heart center. Forward fold, lead with your heart. Your head comes down at the very end. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Bend your knees, hands into the mat. And if you'd like to take a vinyasa, this is your final opportunity for a vinyasa. We'll all come back to downward dog. Full breath all the way in up towards your hips. Exhale, release. Breath in, prepare. Exhale, bend your knees and make your way to a seat onto your mat. Make sure that you've got a block close by. Sit on your bum with your feet out in front of you. You're going to place the soles of your feet together and let your knees come wide. Don't worry too much about making your hips come close to your feet. In fact, have a little bit of a wider diamond. So move out your feet just a little bit. There you go. Take your block and place it on top of your feet, depending on which height works best for you. And you're going to just round over and allow your forehead to rest on top of your block. If you need 2 blocks, that's fine. Or anything else, just to make it come a little bit closer to your head, release your hands out in front of you. If you can, let them come palms up. And see if you can let go through your hips. Just soften into this pose. Bring your hands back closer in towards you. Press down to the mat to slowly round your way up. Set your block to the side, but keep it close by. Take your hands to the outsides of your knees, close them up together, and then roll onto your back, but keep your feet on the mat, your knees bent. Pull in your feet a little bit closer towards your hips. And we're going to take a supported bridge pose. So you're going to press down through your feet and wave your spine up to create a little bit of space so your hips rise up. And then you're going to place your block beneath your sacrum. It's going to be that flat bone right above your bum. And you can use any height on the block, but my recommendation is the first or the second height, and then release all the way down. Allow your arms to come alongside your body, palms up, and you can make them as wide as you like. And start to decompress. Let the block do most of the work. Bring your hands back close alongside your body for just a little bit of support and balance. Press down through your feet and your hands to slowly lift your hips up. Use one of your hands to take the block away from you, set it aside, and slowly wave your spine down all the way. Draw your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your shins. Draw your forehead up towards your kneecaps. Pull yourself in really tight, take a huge breath, feel your chest press against your thighs. Now your next exhale, release all the way down, let your shoulders come down, your legs in front of you. Slide your shoulders down your back, let your arms come alongside you, palms facing up. Or if another version of savasana is best for you at this time, take that option. And begin to soften every single muscle in your body. Find the place that you were holding on to that you didn't realize. Scan your body. Notice if it was in your jaw. And if so, move your chin left and right. Or your neck or your throat. Swallow to release. Or maybe you're holding on to something in your glutes. See if you can soften that whole area. You can stay in Shavasana for as long as you like, followed by a meditation for as long as you would like to take your own personal meditation on your intention. All of these asanas having led up to the opportunity for your meditation. Thank you so much for letting me guide you in your practice. Namaste.